Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. It's the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions from the worlds of TV, film, social media, everything really depending on the guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis, and on Twitter you know me as PD Beats. And you will recognize my guest from the Real Housewives of Dallas on Bravo. We're with Kameron Westcott. Kameron, welcome to Popternative.
Hi. Well, I'm so excited to be here, and thanks for thinking of me today.
No problem. How's the quarantine been for you so far?
Oh my goodness. I'm actually stressed out, overwhelmed over here, and so busy, like all in my house. And I don't know how that's possible. It's because of the homeschool. You know, the homeschooling right now is so difficult. There's so many assignments. And, you know, I want to make sure my kids hit every assignment. So I'm like drill sergeant over here.
No, absolutely. So for a lot of people that kind of follow the Real Housewives of Dallas, you came on the season a little later, correct?
So I came on season 2.
Yes.
Yep. Season 1, was, it wasn't originally, I guess it was originally Housewives. I don't know this whole story, but when I came on, it was officially Housewives. So.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So this is a question that, you know, I've had a lot of people that are on a lot of, you know, shows on Bravo and reality television shows. It's like a hit or miss with this question. Before you were on this show, were you into reality television?
Oh my God, that's all I watched. And that's how I ended up on this show, which is so funny because I was the biggest Housewives super fan of all time.
Wow.
All time. And I watched every single city. And somehow when the first season came on, I was like, why didn't I get a call? Like, this is like, why am I not on the show? And so then I started, you know, finding out that originally they cast it. Originally, the girls didn't know at the time, of course. But I honestly freaked out and was like, I have to have a shot at this. And then my husband was like, no way, you can't do this. This is just not okay. And so it took a lot of negotiating, a lot of chatting with my family to be able to do it. And I was just the biggest super fan though. So when we started filming, I was like, I'm in my favorite TV show. Like,
so that's really cool then. That's interesting to me then, because was it everything like when you kind of got on set and everything, was it like everything you thought it was going to be, or was it completely different to what you thought the experience was going to be?
Oh my gosh. You know, it actually kind of ruined it a little for me because I feel like I couldn't be excited because I already knew what was going to happen when Dallas aired. So it kind of ruined it a little bit. But at the same time, I definitely realized how reality TV does work, you know, because there's so many scenes we shoot and not everything makes it into the season, sadly, because there's only a certain amount of episodes. And so it makes me realize there's so much more to the story and there's so much more that I want to know about people that I don't get to know. So I always tell people, sometimes if I look like a bee or, you know, a crazy person, maybe you didn't see all the footage.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's kind of the whole thing about reality TV. And I feel like there was a show on Lifetime called Unreal. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
Okay, my friend told me I have to watch this.
Yeah, so it was basically showing kind of the behind the scenes of a similar show. It's called Everlasting, but it's based on, you know, The Bachelor and Bachelorette, and it just shows how it's fixed and everything. And you know what, like I didn't really want to get into it or stuff, but like I had some people on my show from, you know, past episodes and seasons of The Bachelor, Bachelorette. I asked, like, is it kind of like that? And they said, you know, I'm not going to comment specifically on some of the storylines, but some kinda, yeah.
I know, it's so funny. My sister always tells me, she goes, you know, everyone that's cast for a reality show is crazy, right? And I'm like, what? I'm like, I guess that means I'm crazy too. But it's okay, I embrace it.
It's pretty crazy. So have you thought, and I think you have in the past, but have you because there's obviously a difference because, you know, there's the Real Housewives of Dallas, but then there's the competition reality shows.
Yes. Yeah. The competition. I like those too.
Have you have you been involved with one of those in the past?
I was on Top Chef, actually.
You were, yes.
Yeah, that's like a very proud moment. I'm so happy you asked that question. It's like my one episode of like fame in the cooking world, and I am like the worst cook ever, but I am a good food critic. So yeah.
Really? So that's interesting to me. So what are you seeing as kind of like trends right now in the food world? Like what are some snacks? Like every year, because I find, what I find was a big trend at one point? Like, so I feel like hot sauces and spicy food is very trendy.
I wish I was. My husband is all into that. I can't do all that. For me, I'm all about, for snacks, I want individualized bags. Okay. Like I buy my little protein nut bags already made, because then you go buy it and you like literally throw it in your purse, whatever. I just like convenience and healthy.
No, absolutely. Because I also find too, like there was, I went on live with Captain Lee from Below Deck on Bravo.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about, so it literally was just like, we were answering questions, because Instagram Live is insane, right? Because you're on kind of like this, but people tune in and it's just like, recognize me, like give me a shout out. It's just like, what is going on?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I went on last night and I haven't done it in forever. It's so fun.
It is fun for sure. Yeah. So I did one with Captain Lee, and we were just talking about hot sauce and like spicy food. Like we talked about chorizo sausage, and like it was just pretty fun. It was so that's something too. Like I find like spicy in the last 2-3 years has become really trendy, and there's hot ones on Complex and everything. So it's just like I see that as a trend. But I didn't think about like the bag treats. That's interesting.
I know it's probably just me saying that, but I love bag treats. I'm like, I like things easy, right?
Well, we were talking food, human food, but now we're gonna switch and talk about dog food.
Yes, love it.
And you have a company that provides dog food, correct?
Yeah.
Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yes, for sure. I have a line called SparkleDog Food, and I currently am not selling my dog food. Actually, at the moment, I'm actually just focusing on my multivitamins right now and my treats that are coming out actually this week. I'm trying to figure out when I'm gonna put them out because of this crazy situation. And I also have a dog shampoo as well.
Wow.
But right now I'm modifying my current recipe for my dog food. I was actually kicked out of my current factory because I didn't have large enough orders. And these dog food brands that they work with, oh my God, they put in like millions of pounds of dog food per order, and I'm like, I can't keep up with that with my business. And this dog food industry is so beyond crazy trying to keep up. And I'm thankful for the Housewives audience as well, because everyone has dogs and they're all so supportive. But gosh, it is a hard industry. But for the time being, everything is on Amazon. So Amazon Prime everything. Okay.
That's
I wouldn't
awesome.
have any product without Amazon Prime, because I don't want to have to make you go to the store. I want it shipped right to your door.
No, absolutely. I was telling you before we started too, I have, a influencer dog, my dog, Little Leo the Morkie.
Send you stuff. I would love to send you stuff. I have to. Your doggy can be my my trial doggy.
Absolutely. It's funny because I'm from Canada, and he's like top 30 in like dogs on Instagram, which is crazy to think.
Yes. Okay. He is a little celebrity.
He is. And you know what? He knows.
Oh, I love it. He is a sparkle dog, okay? He sparkles on the inside and on the outside. That's my whole thing. And for me, I'm so sick of dog food that dogs don't like. My Yorkie, I'm sure you deal with this with your Morkie.
Like picky?
Yeah, picky. I had to hand feed my Yorkie. He would not eat anything for the life of him unless I was hand feeding him all the time. And if I went out of town, he'd lose so much weight because he wasn't eating. He was just like, oh, that food is so gross. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make you your own food.
Well, we do a lot of cooking for him too, because so Leo has an intolerance to chicken.
Oh.
So it was one of those things. So does your dog have any intolerances to any food or allergies?
Doesn't. Oh my God. Louie would eat everything. I mean, we have a bulldog named Chunk, And he was the worst taste tester for everything.
That's a great name, though. Chunk?
Oh, yeah. Chunk from the Goonies. Okay. That's where we got the name, from the Goonies. We love the Goonies. But yeah, so I would give everything to Chunk and Louie to taste test. And Louie was the perfect one because he was so picky. He only ate the one that we actually ended up developing. So, which was SparkleDog food.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Another thing I kind of wanted to ask you is, like a lot of the shows on Bravo, you're all really in like the public eye all the time. You know what I mean? And Real Housewives of Dallas, and it must be crazy. Does it? I'm sure it happens a lot. You're just going to a mall or going somewhere, and someone's like, "It's Cam for Real Housewives." You know what I mean? Like,
so funny. And I honestly forget I'm on the show sometimes. So I'll be at the mall and somebody say my name. I'm like, do I know you from college? Do I know you from high school? Like, where do you know me? And then I'm like, oh, it's the show.
Yeah, they're just, so people come up to you like, I know you. You're like, oh.
Yes.
We're...
In my eyes, okay, so I got LASIK and I feel like I can't see more than 15 feet ahead of me right now. Like, I can't tell who it is. And I need to go get my eyes redone because it doesn't work anymore. But they told me to wait until I'm 40. So I hate wearing contacts. So when people say hi to me, I can't see who it is. And so I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, until they get closer. So I always have that awkward moment. Like, do I know you or are you a fan? Like,
no, but yeah. But it's pretty cool to also have like the fan base that you have and the rest of the cast has, and it's pretty awesome. And they love, the Real Housewives of Dallas.
Yes, it is so much fun. Sometimes, like if we go to a restaurant or something, sometimes I'll get a dessert, like set a table from a fan. Like I was over at a restaurant before quarantine, and someone sent me literally it was 2 glasses of champagne, and it was like a whole dessert, and I was like, who is this from? And the guy was like, it's from a fan over there. I was like, oh, so sweet.
That is really, really cool. Yeah. You're in the public eye a lot. You're on a TV show. You have a lot of, social media followers. Do you see yourself as having kind of a role? Like a lot of people on TV shows, a lot of people look up to, people like yourself, like a role model role. Have you ever thought about that at all, Kameron?
Yes, 100%. And I actually really try to be a role model really for my children. Yeah. I always told them, if I'm on the show, I never want to make you feel embarrassed. I always want to have you be proud of mommy. And I know they're going to watch everything one day. Okay. I am not stupid. And they're going to watch everything one day. And I want to be sure that they're never going to be embarrassed either going to school. So, sometimes I'm a little more conservative, but I'm always conservative. That's just me. People are always like, why aren't you the one stripping in the hot tub? I'm like, I don't do that. Even without cameras, I don't do that.
Does it happen where, like, sometimes, because a lot of people don't realize, like, reality shows, there's sometimes, certain episodes and certain things that happen in storylines. Does it ever happen, like, where someone's been like, have you ever been asked, like, hey, why aren't you not doing that? Like, why aren't you going in, like, the jacuzzi? Like, has that ever happened?
Let's see. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I do feel like sometimes the girls get a little more wild than I am normally. Like my group of friends, we love getting wild, but there's also a limit to like what we do when we're wild. Like we go crazy and go dance and, have cocktails and martinis and go dance all night. But we also really aren't the ones that, are playing butt darts or going skinny dipping, just crazy things that happen on the show. And so for me, though, when that does happen and someone encourages me to do it too, it's so entertaining because I'm like, I don't get to see this normally. Like, this is like being in the TV and these girls they'll do the craziest things. And I'm like, that did not just happen. Because in my group of friends, that wouldn't happen. So I'm like, this is great. And then I just know that I can't do that. I'm not going to strip or something.
No, for sure. One quick thing as well I wanted to kind of do is I'm going to kind of say something about kind of one of your, cast members, like who is the funniest, who is, the most competitive. And on top of your head, I want you to say which person it is. So who has the best laugh?
Ooh, I would say Stephanie.
Okay. Who is the most competitive? Like whenever it's like a board game or a sport, who's the most competitive?
Deandra.
Okay. Who could eat the most? Like who has a big appetite?
Me. I'm always like, where's the food? I swear, no one will eat ever, like when we're on camera. And I'm like, I am so hungry.
And then, who's on their phone the most? Like, if one person, I mean, maybe it's maybe is it a tie, maybe, or is there someone who's more blatantly on the phone more than others?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Maybe Leanne's on the phone a lot. Yeah, I would say Leanne probably.
On the phone, like on the like checking her phone, like social media wise. Okay, yeah.
Maybe checking her phone for like text messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Leanne. Yeah, for sure.
No, absolutely. Well, Kameron, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No, of course.
My gosh. And I have to write down your baby's name again. I'm following your baby on Instagram.
Yeah, so it's Little Leo.
Oh my
God. The Morky. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait to stalk him. Oh, I'm so excited.
He makes everything better.
Oh, especially during quarantine, right? He's probably like, why are you at home so
He
long?
loves that everyone's home. He's loving it.
I love that. Well, I'm going to be a super fan.
Oh, well, yeah, you know what? If you want to send him some stuff, we will post.
I am. Yes, I need some taste testers. So.
Absolutely. Where can people follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Instagram, Kameron Westcott, and then on Twitter, I am actually Kam Westcott, and then SparkleDog Food on Instagram.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Love seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. And until next time, this is Kameron Westcott and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.